wearing this on Valentine's Day, and you just feel so beautiful, so pretty. It's got this gorgeous shawl that wraps around your neck and down the front. It's so soft. When you feel this, you're gonna be like, wow.
I know.
This is so luxurious. It feels real, but it doesn't have that heavy weight of fur. And it's just easy and comfortable. It has a little stretch in it, so you can bend and move in it. But
so
this
wonderful.
is that item piece. This is that staple. This is one piece that you don't want to miss,
Jackie,
and you really have to be quick.
Thank you for this. Thank you for these 2 hours. We're going to see you back on Wednesday with a great Today Special. All right, speaking of Today's Special, Shannon Smith is coming up next.
Well, this could be home for me. It really could, except sometimes that winter wonderland is not so pretty as much as it is threatening. And wind chill, whether you realize it or not, is actually the greatest danger in winter weather. I can tell you that for a fact because I went to school in Fargo, North Dakota, one of the windiest cities in America. 1998 New England ice storm actually left over 500,000 people without power. And certainly the next 2 hours are not about threatening or scaring you. You know, in the world and certainly in the climate that we live, whether it's trying to stretch a family food dollar or just making dinner time easy for the kids and for the family, this is the best, the most economical way to do it. Take it from someone like me. It's interesting, the first time that I sold Wise Foods, I actually had a little snobbery because, you know, I'm a foodie. They impressed me. I get this actually not just for the emergency preparedness, but for the taste of the food. I'm not kidding. Most meals in history, HSN exclusives. There are over 140,000 of these sold since just in the last couple of years. If you're one of them, of course, we want to say hi. Yes, you can have pancakes for about 60 cents. Yes, you can have rice pilaf and pudding and oatmeal and cheesy mix and my favorite pot pie. And you can have it in this wonderful container and know it will be your go-to regardless of the season or regardless of the reason. Of course, we are always so happy to have with us the one and only Stephanie. Stephanie, I have to say, I look forward to this so much. First of all, I kind of jones for that chicken pot pie.
Oh, we've got some new things for you, too.
Lie.
We're going to get your cravings going on a new level.
So what, you've got pancake with syrup, you've got like cheesy enchiladas.
Exactly.
You've got this broccoli bake thing, you've got casseroles that you've never done.
We've got great flavors, we've got new things exclusive to us here at HSN, but most importantly what we have is the ability for you to make a choice for yourself, for your family, that really can make a difference in being ready for whatever comes your way. And we're talking about emergency food. But when I say emergency food, I know what you're thinking right off the bat. You're like, oh, gross. Powdered astronaut food. She's going to try to get me to buy something nasty. No, no, this is Wise. And the difference with Wise emergency food is that very honestly, we call it gourmet emergency food. These dishes here taste phenomenal. Really you heard Shannon say she's a foodie. And I remember the first time I gave you some, she was like, oh, am I going to have to fake this?
Exactly. I'm like, oh, me. I have to say, no kidding, I bought my first Wise Foods Today's Special last year, and I'm hooked. And if you're a fan like I am, please call us. That testimonial talk line is open. Okay, what's my first little goodie I'm gonna try?
You have some goodies while I get cooking. This is a new cheesy macaroni.
Would you look at how creamy this is? Now listen, I love to play around in the kitchen, and for me to get even kind of like that melted consistency, even if you forget the emergency preparedness, you know, just it's easy and it tastes good.
Exactly, and you know what? I'm guessing you're gonna think that tastes way better than that stuff that comes in the blue box.
I do actually.
Doesn't that taste homemade like Grandma?
It really does taste like homemade.
I absolutely love that. So that's an addition.
Good.
So let's talk a little bit about what tonight's offer is all about and what will be coming to you. 148 servings. So this is a big and stuffed bucket of food. I love the bucket itself. It is waterproof. It is bug proof. It is a great thing to just have. So with the 148 servings, you're getting 10 kind of lunch and dinner type entrees, if you were. Hearty, great tasting, kind of stick to your ribs foods. And then we also have, you know, kind of a breakfast thing, a grain cereal. Also the ability to make a creamy style yogurt and chocolate pudding, which by the way is exclusive to HSN.
Yes.
Whey milk and orange drink comes with it too.
Smart.
So all of that piled in your 148
Absolutely.
servings.
Pot pie.
And pot pie.
I'm just saying.
Pot pie is one of the 10 lunch and dinner entrees.
I love my pot pie.
We will make you.
Exactly.
We will make you
And
some.
cheesy enchiladas. So it really does taste homemade. And I would be the first one to say I was probably Stephanie's toughest critic, because many of you know I do cook, and I cook every night of the week, and I love to cook. And I'm not a fast food. I've never been a takeout person. I cook everything from scratch. I really do. It's part of what I love. So if they can convince me, just even factor the emergency preparedness out of it for a second, don't for a moment think. There are many times when I'm just running late and I'm thinking, you know what, I'm gonna throw this in the suitcase, I'm gonna throw this in my gym bag, I'm gonna throw this, you know, in my lunch bag, and you just add a little hot water, right? I mean,
exactly. You don't even have to use hot water, and we're going to talk about that
yes,
too.
it's true.
For you in a non-emergency situation, yes, use hot water,
Sure.
because most things taste better hot, and also it rehydrates more quickly.
Right.
However, in an emergency situation, even though you see burners here, everything that we are going to make for you can be made with tap water, cold water, bath water, whatever it takes in an emergency. Any water will work. Let's talk about what makes Wise different, because actually it starts right in the factory. Wise employs two different types of people. The first, the reason this tastes so great, chefs. These are chef-written and inspired recipes. There is the gourmet. When we say it's teriyaki rice, it doesn't just sort of taste like something that might remind you of teriyaki. It is seasoned and flavored well so that you are getting these great recipes. But the scientists behind Wise have done something really cool, and it's all about the packaging. Each of these packages is called a modified atmospheric package. Now, what does that mean to you? It seals out the bad stuff. It seals out humidity. It seals out oxygen. All of those things make food go bad. So this special Wise pouch here seals it all out so that everything you see not only tastes great, but will be there for you for up to 25 years.
25 years.
25 years.
The newborn in the family, right? Is going to have the driver's license, is going to be out of high school, out of college by the time that, quote unquote, the expiration date is settled. Hey, Marty, if you're listening in the sales manager's office, I have to give you guys a little sneak preview, and he needs to order one of these for me.
Oh.
The new, hottest, available only for this show are the eggs. The eggs, the eggs, the eggs. I could make every meal out of eggs. I want to use these just to cook with, to be honest with you.
Throw them in your brownies when you're out.
I mean, for sure. Okay, less than $1 a serving. We have 200 of them. 200 only, $27 on your credit card. It's free shipping. And when you see what you get, it's unbelievable. Oh, hey, by the way, the other thing, if you're asking, do I have fruits? We do have fruits. Do I have meats and proteins? I have meats and proteins. And Steve, whenever possible to show that graphic, that'd be great. Do I have my grains, my vegetables? I do, I do, I do. So the fruits are always the most popular and sell out first.
They are.
Kind of FYI. You've got meat, you've got beef, you've got Southwestern beef, you've got chicken.
Proteins you can add to anything that comes with your 148 serving bucket.
And then, of course, your vegetables.
Something you can add on.
You've got all that covered. But remember, this is only as long as supplies last. And real quickly, I know Stephanie's got a lot to get to, but I just want you to see the types of foods you're getting again real quickly. Creamy pastas, broccoli and cheese bakes, cheesy macaronis, pasta Alfredos, teriyaki rice, enchilada casseroles, chicken noodle soup, my favorite chicken pot pie, the beans and rice, the rice pilafs. You're even getting multi-grain oatmeals and orange delights and pancakes, as well as whey milk and yogurt and pudding. Oh my. And you know, the thing is, we don't like to think of, you know, what can happen, but the truth is, Stephanie, it doesn't matter where you live in this great land of ours. Could be hurricanes, could be flooding, could be ice storms. In every part of this nation, I think the weather is more wonky in the last couple of years than I've ever seen it. And this just gives you that peace of mind in knowing you've got food at the ready. Like, as an example, when at home for Christmas, there was an ice storm. We couldn't leave the farm for 3 days. I'm serious. I could not leave the farm for 3 days. And the worst part was the wind was blowing so strongly I couldn't even watch the satellite TV. So when you've got situations like that happening, it's so good. There's a comfort knowing that you've got those comfort yet healthy kind of home cooked meals at the ready.
And you have the food and the food tastes great. And when you make the decision and the investment to have this in your home, you have it for up to 25 years. It's great peace of mind. Let's take a minute and look at some of the foods because it's one thing to say that they're cool recipes, but I want you to see the way these come out. Rice pilaf, also pancakes being included this time. I love the ability to make those. The broccoli bake is exclusive to HSN. And of course, there's Shannon's chicken pot pie. That is her favorite. The noodle soup, the enchilada casserole, also new and exclusive to HSN. Teriyaki rice, cheesy macaroni, Southwest rice and beans is one of my personal favorites. I love the spices in that. Vegetable rotini and also pasta Alfredo. So those are our 10 lunch and dinner entrees, all very hearty, all great tasting chef-inspired recipes. Also brown sugar oatmeal, chocolate pudding, exclusive to us here at HSN, and a yogurt style, kind of a creamy yogurt that comes as well. Orange drink and 2 pitchers of whey milk. So all of this coming with your 148 servings. But the most important thing about this is how easy it is. This is one-step cooking. I have my pouch. All I do is add water. Now, you'll see that our water is heated. It's sitting on a burner. Well, guess what? It doesn't have to be.
No.
I'm using hot water today because it goes a little quicker.
Sure.
When I use warm water, this reconstitutes in 5 minutes. I mean, I put the broccoli in as we started talking a few minutes ago. We'll check on it right now. It should be ready to go. But I can do this with cold water.
I was gonna say,
ice cold water. Ice cold water. If you're in a situation where you're out of power, if you're camping, I mean, yeah, sure, out and about, use the cold water. It will take a little longer, maybe 10 minutes, but it will reconstitute.
That's smart.
So for the emergency standpoint of this, if my power is out, if my hot water heater is not making hot water, I can still get the food that I need. And in a non-emergency situation, go ahead and use the hot water.
For sure. It's interesting. Every single person in my last hour is buying this. Joe Harrison, Bill Duggan, myself, Lori Leland. And when you look at, how long this is going to last you, the interesting thing for me is, whether you're a family of 1, a family of 2, a family of 3, a family of 4, 148 servings. Stephanie, you were telling me, even if I went to the Wise Company website, it's what, 56?
Oh, the difference in price is amazing. So on the Wise Company website, you get a 56 serving container for $125. That's only 56. So I'd have to buy 3 of those to get close to my 148.
So you're getting really 3 times as much food. This is the most food, the most servings that we've ever offered from the Wise Company, and it's going to be hard to top. We only do this twice a year, and I think it's interesting that every single person that I've talked to tonight, from my makeup artist, we're all buying this. I mean, and what does that tell you? And whether you're just using it to stretch your family food dollar, if you're using it from a convenience standpoint, it's going to pay for itself over and over and over again, if nothing else, in the peace of mind experience of knowing that you've got something at the ready whenever you have that moment of need.
Absolutely. And I think one of the other things too is, you start to think about need.
You do.
What do I need? What could happen? You could have the power outage. You could have the time when you don't have, maybe it's an economic need, enough money to get to the grocery store and have your dollars stretch. Everybody defines need differently. Maybe you're a busy mom and the snow and rain and ice are coming down and you just don't want to get out to the store and pack up the kids. So you have a need for food. It doesn't matter whether it's weather related, economic related, time related, what the situation is, that you need food help. Shannon, I love the fact that if you're just sick and it's cold and you just don't want to have to go out to grab food for the kids, when you look at the dollar value of the food itself, we did the math for you. $99.95 divided by 148 servings comes out to 68 cents a serving. And I want to show you exactly what a serving is. So if I take, let's use my teriyaki rice for an example here. This is my pouch.
Right.
It is a 4-serving pouch. So I'll divide that up with my fork.
Come on.
Look at the size of a serving. I mean, that is a significant amount of food there. So that is 68 cents, essentially, for what you're getting right there.
Because that looks like double for your trouble. I mean, that looks like a double portion to me. But, you know, we like to be conservative.
Exactly.
And you know what I think is so fun, too? A pack of gum is more than what a serving is going to cost you. I mean, seriously, a pack of gum is more than what you're going to spend for your individual servings.
You can't get a hamburger in the drive-thru for 68 cents, and it's not going to have the balanced nutrition that these meals have for you.
And you know, we want to hear from you, of course, if you're a huge fan like I am. Anyone that I've ever talked to who has ever purchased the Wise Foods is just bananas over it. We all become crusaders for this company and for this amazing cause, and we hope you do it for yourself. Speaking of that Wise experience, you've got to do it now. Here's what you can see when you get it at home for yourself.
I mean, I don't have to add any other vegetables, any other seasonings. It's all in there. It's really easy.
You know, that part of your life is not going to be in some kind of upheaval. It's pretty much what Mom would put on the table.
One of the coolest things about having an emergency plan is being able to check off how you're going to get your water and how you're going to get your food, because those two staples, once you've kind of put those in the back of your mind, right, and you know that those are already taken care of, then it leaves you a lot more bandwidth to focus on what else might be happening.
You know what's so fun? Everybody loves this.
Yes.
Everybody loves this.
The taste is great. It's a customer pick. And here's what I like about the fact that it's a customer pick. Okay, so you're buying this, I'm assuming, mostly for emergency purposes, or at least to have in your home. But people are reviewing this and talking about how amazing the taste is, so you're trying it. And I love that. Get it home. Rip it open. You've got 148 servings. Cook a meal, a pouch. Just add the water. And you know what? Don't tell your family what it is either. Just go ahead and do it. And they'll be so surprised and so proud of you when you tell them what a decision you've made.
All right, what are you doing here?
Well, we're going to get out some chocolate because I know how you roll.
Exactly.
So chocolate pudding, exclusive to HSN. Water in the bowl, right? Threw in a little bit of pudding. Now, I don't know about you, but the traditional way you need to make pudding is that you have to whip it all around and everything.
Absolutely.
Watch how easy this is and how quickly it comes together. Look at the creaminess. I'm not sitting here with a fancy mixer. I'm not having to beat out a bunch of lumps. Honestly, this is easier than the box puddings and it tastes. It is. I love, isn't this great? This is
like
so
you stir over a burger
incredibly easy. But what I want you to watch is that just the consistency immediately coming together. And when you taste it, this tastes like I stood over the stove.
It really does.
And stirred. The ability that Wise has to make these foods so simple to prepare, yet taste so amazing, really is a testament to the science behind it.
It is. It really becomes the consistency of almost like a chocolate ganache. I mean,
Absolutely.
It really is. So it's almost like, you know, your French cooking, you know, school at home. Pancakes and pilafs and cheesy bakes and casseroles and pot pie, and, you know, pot pie and whey milk and oatmeal. I mean, all those wonderful things. And then, of course, I'd love for you to see the graphic one more time. Ask about the additional pieces because, Steve, I believe all of those are bonus buys. Is that correct? So if you want the fruit is usually the one that sells out first.
Very popular.
Oh, actually, I thought it was an additional percentage, but, you know, perhaps. Oh, it's a price break. That's what we're doing. It's a price break at $49.95 for this event. It's free shipping. It's a little over $16 on your credit card. So there's the fruit. Then we also have our protein pack.
Which is great if you have a larger family. You know, if you know that you have 6 mouths to feed, and if you're going to open a pouch that has 4 servings, put some protein in it and it'll stretch it farther. Because what are the 2 things you have to have? You have to have protein and calories. So I like the extra protein. Those are the veggies. You can either rehydrate them and use them as like veggie side dishes, or you know what? They're really snackable.
I was just going to say, like,
camping and hunting. Throw them in your pack and enjoy. Okay, I want you to try this because this is one of our new ones. This is the broccoli bake. This is exclusive to HSN, and it reminds me of that cheesy broccoli casserole.
Do you know what it reminds me of
used
home?
To make.
Actually, because, you know, I'm from Minnesota, and I have to say this is like home.
Yeah, that's kind of like a Midwest staple in my world because I grew up there too. Isn't that good? So exclusive to HSN, some great flavors here. So we've talked a lot about the emergency aspect of this, but when it comes to the camping, the hunting, let's think about this. If you are going out in the woods on trails, you've got to have something with you. Weight becomes important. You don't want to have to put anything in your pack that you don't have to carry that you don't want to. I get that. But to not have the what ifs, the what if it got dark sooner than I thought, the what if I took a wrong trail, the what if I'm having an amazing day in my hunting stand and I don't want to come down.
No,
you
it's
know?
true.
So have the food with you. If you know anybody that's into these outdoor activities, tailgating, you know, heading up for games, even parents, you know, you head out to those soccer tournaments and those baseball tournaments that last forever, you gotta have food. So whether it's recreational or protection for your family, planning ahead, this meets every single one of those needs.
It does.
I know a lot of people send them to their kids at college.
Exactly. I mean, you know, even overseas. I mean, the list goes on. And remember, we would love to say hi to you. Oh, one quick, well, I guess word to the wise, pun intended. We have 150 only of the eggs, and it's actually it's a lot of eggs, less than $1 a serving. And here's the thing. In fact, we actually asked the Wise Company for more of these, and they couldn't get it to us because it's their number one.
They're so popular.
Yeah, they're the number one, you know, a la carte item, if you will. I plan on using these not only in smoothies, in baking. You can, you know, obviously you can use them as an egg dish, but it's a lot of eggs, guys. Less than $1 a serving, 150 only, $27 and change in your credit card and free shipping. If there's somebody who's into weight training or wants to get lean and they're looking for an easy, smart, fast, affordable, and yummy way to get protein into their diet, it is this.
And you know, I want to point out that for the eggs, it's a resealable pouch, which I think is really cool. So if you have this in your cupboard, at shelf life open is a year.
Oh, no kidding.
So that's still a lot of time to use one package. But until you open that package, it has the 25-year shelf life that everything else has. So you're essentially buying eggs to have any time you need them for 25 years.
I love scrambled eggs, but you know, a lot of times in the mornings, my mornings, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but you know, I don't have time to make scrambled eggs or breakfast. It's my favorite meal of the day. Now you've got breakfast on the go wherever your travels take you. So 150 only on the eggs. And then I think, Steve, on the fruit, the protein, and the vegetables, I'm assuming the fruit is still the most popular at this point. Fruit is the most popular, followed by the protein. Remember, we do want to say hi to you. Ooh, now what's going on in here?
Teriyaki rice. I know you're my tasting girl.
Is this new?
This is newer.
Newer?
Yep, this was in one of our last offerings, so it's definitely new this year. Again, a different flavor profile. What do you think? Isn't that interesting? Would you ever know that did not come from an Asian restaurant? I mean, to me, that just tastes like good carryout.
Because it's all, you know, that teriyaki yet kind of sweet and sour.
Got a little tang. It's got a little tang. And again, when we talk about these recipes and how Wise has done such a good job with the chef-inspired recipes to make things like this, you know, you can see the carrots, you can see the peppers. There is real ingredients in here. These are not all taste-like foods. They are spiced with the real deal. The Southwest rice and beans, big pieces of bean, big pieces of corn, and the exact spicing that you would expect in a meal. So the flavors are there, the taste is there.
For sure.
And when you stop to think about the world today, be it the weather, be it the political climate, be it the international aggression that seems to be popping up, I don't even need to make the list of all the things that are, you know, somewhat concerning that are happening in the world. You think, oh, well, of course I need this, because anything that happens could affect whether or not I can get food. And the bottom line is, you have to have food.
Well, I can tell
you just have to.
I mean, I can't tell you the number of times where it's like, ooh, I forgot to pay that bill. And it's like, okay, but I also got to get to the grocery store. So many people use this to stretch their food dollar as well. Which is such a good idea. You know, and I aspire to those meatless Mondays. I'm not really a great meatless Monday cook or planner. You want to do your meatless Monday? Do your rice and beans. Do your do your cheesy enchilada bake. I mean, there are so many ways ways that you can incorporate this into any healthy living lifestyle, in addition to helping you to stretch your food dollar. You know, and I think of people like my grandmother. Before my grandmother passed, she wouldn't make a meal for herself because it was just her. But if all she had to do was add water, I know she would have cooked. You know, my mom would even say, did you eat something today? You know, little Lenore, and you should be like, oh, I had some tea. You know, if this is even for seniors or an assisted living or dormitories.
Or small apartments.
Right. I mean, RVers or snowbirds, or for someone like myself, again, I am a foodie. I love to cook. I cook every single day of the week and do it because I love it. But there are those times where I'm just running short on time. Even when we just did this Andrew Lessman remote, I get a little sweet with a kitchenette. I try to make myself scrambled eggs, you know, in the morning and do a little cooking. But if I had this, you think of how much money you spend. You're spending more than 60 cents for a Las Vegas meal.
Yes, you are.
Okay, it's more than 68 cents for any place. It's more for a cup of coffee in Las Vegas than you're spending for your servings here. Get it, you'll use it, try it. It's only twice a year, and remember, this is the biggest configuration that we've ever done. You know, the thing is, Stephanie, when I picked up this bucket, you really get a sense of just how much stuff you're really getting in here.
It comes packed to the gills with the packets you see here for the 148 servings. Again, for 148 servings, there are 10 different lunch and dinner type entrees, and I'll read them again for you so you can hear all the great flavors. This should be making you hungry. The teriyaki rice, the broccoli cheese bake, the noodle soup, the chicken pot pie, which is Shannon's favorite, of course, Southwest rice and beans, the rice pilaf, the vegetable rotini, the enchilada casserole, the cheesy macaroni, and the pasta alfredo. Those are the 10 kind of hearty lunch and dinner entrees. Also the brown sugar oatmeal, the chocolate pudding, the creamy yogurt, the orange drink, and the 2 pitchers of whey milk. Now, I love the ability to make the milk too, and you're standing by that. Here. And what I like about it is for kids in comfort too. You know, a lot of kids, milk isn't just for nutrition. It's that, you know, in the morning, in the evening, they just need some milk. You know, if you've been in a power outage situation, or if you're camping or taking a family road trip or something like that, and you don't have the access to it, you can still provide the comfort. And I think a lot of this, when Wise has come up with these amazing recipes, you know, we talked about broccoli cheese bake reminding us of growing up. That's the reason these recipes were developed, because if you're in a blizzard situation and you're stuck in your home, if you're in a power outage situation and you aren't going to be able to get fresh foods, or, you know, I remember ice storms closing roads, it's unsettling for kids, you know, so you can provide the milk, you can provide the good meals, and it just makes everything seem a little bit more okay. There's so much you can't control.
No, it's so true. I mean, it's comforting. It's like Mom used to make. It is home cooked goodness. It really is. And remember, there's an unconditional 30-day money-back guarantee. So, and I always used to love to say this, basically do a taste test. If you know, open, you know, pick your favorite. If you're a pot pie person, pick the pot pie. If you love kind of that home-baked casserole, do that broccoli cheese bake.
Absolutely.
You know, or if you love Southwestern, you like something with a little spice to it, do the teriyaki or do the, you know, the beans and rice. You know, pick one of these, and truly, if you aren't, like Stephanie said, don't tell your family, you know, where we got it.
It's kind of a fun surprise.
It really is. And if you don't find, if it isn't love from the first bite, send it back. I mean, no questions asked.
Absolutely.
But there's a reason that this is a customer pick. All of our Wise Today specials go on to be customer picks. They all have virtually perfect ratings, whether it is saving you and your family from, you know, an inclement weather situation, a power outage, maybe it's just a budget shortfall, you know, or just the convenience. You know, if Mom's running late, I'll tell you what, I don't care, Stephanie, like you said, there's not a single meal on that dry food, fast food menu that is 68 cents.
Absolutely not. And not to mention the fact that you know you're not getting the health benefits and things like that. I mean, these are meals. These are balanced nutritional meals.
They are.
And I also want to point out that they're not calorie increased and increased carbohydrate meals. I know a lot of the times when we talk about, you know, emergency foods, they whack them full of calories so that you only have to have a cup and you'll be okay for the whole day.
No,
that is not the way these are. So a serving is the normal calorie intake of a serving for the meal. But you know, this is the oatmeal, and I'm making this most of the reason because I want to smell it. Like, I just absolutely love the way way the brown sugar and maple smells in this. It's wonderful. But you know, when we start to think about the things in life that we, you know, can control and we protect against, we have to have medical insurance, right? We all try to have health insurance because we don't know what could happen with our health. We have to have car insurance because things happen to your car. You have home insurance, so it protects things happening to your home. I look at this as food insurance because what else do you have that guarantees that your family will be able to eat no matter what happens in the world? From the scary headlines to the scary weather, there's plenty of things out there to worry about.
There are.
And this is just one less thing.
You're right. It's one less thing.
And a big thing.
It is.
A very big thing.
It is. And you know, the other thing too, you know, short of the chocolate pudding, which is delicious, Stephanie does not have to babysit these. I mean,
I really have done nothing.
You put that water in, and it's better than set it and forget it. You just let it, you know, take care of itself. One quick mention though, if you see, we've got a little over 100 of the eggs remaining. Okay, final 100 of the eggs. Sadly, in fact, I asked before the show, we cannot get more of these.
No.
So if you are one of the next 100 people, ask about those eggs. I will say for someone like me, I'm trying to get back to the gym, trying to be lean, trying to be fit, and eggs are, they call it the perfect protein. And there's no smarter, easier way to incorporate that into your diet.
Which is a great idea. And then I'll take the opposite approach. This will make you laugh. We make a lot of brownies at my house. So this has nothing to do with the gym.
Or there's that.
But we're often out of eggs.
Right, there you go.
And that's really annoying when you're mixing your brownies and you realize you're out of eggs. So I just had to be real here. I like the fact that they're there whenever you need them, because obviously keeping fresh things in stock can be a challenge.
It's true, but you know what? It does make me laugh because on opposite ends of the spectrum, the same thing applies here, because I am a label reader. I do try to be very conscious of, you know, the makeup of my meals. And when I look at this does read like a nutritionist or a chef's dream.
Absolutely.
Because you're not looking, like Stephanie said, you know, something that's just full of a lot of calories and carbohydrates and fat so that it could, you know, be an emergency food situation. These are home-cooked meals designed the way you would design them if you had the time or the budget. And remember, we just happen to call it an emergency food situation. And I have to say, speaking for myself, I feel so much better knowing that this is here. You know, whether it's the ice storm that I, you know, went through, you know, 3 days, you know, trapped on the farm in Herman, Minnesota, or if it's just, you know, throwing this in the back of the trunk when you're going camping, when you're going backpacking, when, you know, RVs and snowbirds. I love knowing, certainly here in Florida where we've got that hurricane season, no matter where you live, there's always something to worry about. I know that this is at the ready, and it's at the ready for 25 years.
25 years. All you do is store it in a cool, dry place. I'll tell you what I do. First of all, that bucket, it's a serious bucket. I love the bucket for, you know, hauling water, because we worry about hurricanes. Should a hurricane threaten, I'll be filling that bucket with water. I can tell you that.
Really, that's
but
really true.
what I do with my food is I put it under the bed, because you can get an under the bed box, so you can just slide the packets under, and that's just an easy place for it to fit.
Actually.
You just need to have it in a cool, dry place. It also frees up that bucket if you need it for anything else.
Okay,
you try that since I'm waving it around.
What little goodie do I have here? Oh, by the way,
you have always, and look at the big vegetables too. I love this. You have always said you're the chicken pot pie girl. I want to show you my favorite. This is the creamy vegetable rotini.
This actually reminds me of the chicken pot pie.
It is. It's a very similar consistency with that nice sauce.
That's
but
good.
Isn't that good? I love that one.
That's good.
Yeah, and I'm a texture girl. Creamy. You know, we can tell you over and over again how good the food tastes. You need to try it for yourself. But my thing about why I don't like a lot of, you know, quick prepare foods is, you know how pasta, if it's not done right, gets kind of that gummy, slimy
I'm with
thing.
You there.
Yeah, no, have huge problems with texture. So I love the fact that the pastas, the rices, the vegetables, they all keep the consistency that a food is supposed to have. Wise, with their scientists and their chefs, has figured out a way to have this food taste like it's supposed to and keep the consistency it's supposed to in a pouch for up to 25 years. To me, it's just ingenious how it has worked. And a lot of it does come back to what the pouch is made of, how they put it together, keeping the humidity, keeping the oxygen away from the food so that it's safe. But when you combine the value, 68 cents a serving, the fact that the taste is amazing, all you do is add water, and oh, by the way, you'll have it.
You will.
For up to 25 years. It almost becomes a could this really be this good?
Yeah.
And you know, it is.
It is.
It is this cool.
You know, read those reviews for yourself, but for this to be a customer pick, every time we do a Wise Foods Today special, it goes on to be a customer pick. You know, the only thing is, I really don't want this to be one of those coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's funny, now that I've taken the leap of faith, anyone who has tried Wise Foods is a fan forever. I mean, they really are. The hardest thing that we have to do is to just trust us and make that phone call and get it at home. And that's why I say, forget our 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Do a little taste test. If it isn't love from the first bite, as they say, send it back. To me, I really, in a roundabout way, forget, you know, all of the emergency preparedness and the budget saving. You know, for me, a lot of it is the taste. I know I keep talking about that chicken pot pie, but that's the one that really kind of pushed me over the edge, because I love making homemade pot pie. And for me to say, hey, that's great, or that little rotini, that's like a little rotini, creamy pasta that you would do at home. Perfect kind of al dente texture. You can actually see the vegetables. So for anyone out there, even if it's just a time saver, if you're running late, you feel, oh, it's like, oh, I feel bad getting, you know, another night of fast food for the kids. Or, you know, my mom has had multiple back surgeries, and my dad has learned to do like scrambled eggs. I think he can do one other thing, but you know, my mom really couldn't.
Well, it's a helper.
It is.
It's a helper in your home.
It is, because, you know, she had to worry about, oh, what am I gonna make for the boys? You know, and if you are maybe going through a surgery, a rehabilitation, whatever it might be, and you've been kind of the cook in the family, latchkey kids, it's like, you know what? Honey, just put some water on it.
Absolutely. And they don't even have to heat the water.
And they don't even have to heat the water.
If you're seeing this on the burners, it is simply because we are speeding up the cooking a little bit. This food does not need hot water. Any type of water works. I like what you had said about for grandma. You know, like my grandma was in the Midwest, the weather would get bad and she wouldn't want to go out to the store, right? It would be either rainy or slippery, and then you worry about people having food in your home. You can pick this up and have it for someone to get food into their home. Maybe this is the way that you know people will have food on their shelves. You know, whatever the reason is, it is there.
It is. All right. You know, again, we see you there. We want to thank you for your purchase. Of course, take a moment to stop by and say hi to us. Over 1,000 of these already gone. Remember, this is today and today only. Most meals ever from our semi-annual Wise Food Today special. Best price per servings. If you went even to the Wise Company website, for only 56 servings, you'd actually be looking at $125. Now, you can do the math for yourself. You're getting 3 times as many servings as even the Wise Company website. You're getting exclusives, that beautiful broccoli cheese bake and the enchiladas and the puddings, all those wonderful things. So trust me, there is something here for even the most finicky of palates, and today and today only. And just one more friendly reminder, this will be the only show of issue where you can get the eggs, and whether it's to make brownies with the kids.
At least I'm honest, right?
Exactly. Or keep you on task, you know, if you're trying to get lean and back to the gym this year. Final 100, I know you're seeing that item number at the bottom of your screen. We've got a little time to talk about the fruit and about the proteins and about the vegetables. And don't forget, this is the only day that we will see this. In fact, I cannot imagine, I know you only do 2 Today specials a year.
We do.
But I doubt very much we'll see the number of servings that we're doing today. It took a lot to kind of put this one together.
This is the biggest one we've ever done, and I'll tell you what else has happened in these events like this is that we've sold out by the end of the day.
No, that's really true.
So yes, we certainly have in the past, and I like that everybody's thinking, you know, make a decision that's good for you and your family. We sell so many things that I love to buy. Shoes, I was looking at a makeup brush earlier before I walked on. This is one of those things that you can really feel like you need to buy. You need to make the commitment to your family to be able to say to them, I have food for us no matter what happens. It's 10 lunch and dinner servings. It's an oatmeal for morning, it's chocolate pudding, it's a yogurt-styled, creamy, wonderful breakfast goodie, it's whey milk, it's orange drink, it is 148 servings. That's enough food for a family of 4 for a week, and a great choice to make.
It is, so we see you there. Hey, don't forget, take a moment to say hi to us. We're gonna talk about the fruits and the proteins and all the other great things that you can use to complement this. Are the eggs gone? Oh, that makes me sad.
No. Did you get one put aside?
Okay. All righty. Well, congratulations if you did get the powdered eggs. Shoot, I was too late. I knew I should have brought my tablet out here. Okay. By the way, we also want to thank the Wise Company. We're so proud and privileged to have them on the air here. Of course, they help support our HSN Cares. They are our partner, of course, with the American Red Cross. And your destination, too, could help someone in your community. And that's the most important thing to remember during any time of need. And today, of course, we're sharing vital information on preparedness. And in fact, there are 3 things that everyone should know this time of year. Emergencies are much more common than you think. This is what a winter storm can do, but it's easy to get prepared. So the 3 things everyone should know: have our preparedness kit. Of course, that starts right off with our today's special. Have a family disaster plan. Where are you going to go? You know, where you're going to put the kids, and then of course have your prepare your home with non-perishable items like our today's special water, flashlights. You can print that full list at hsn.com. So have that disaster plan ready, and of course we would love to get your donation today to help support HSN Cares and of course the Red Cross. So do of course that little search on hsn.com and you can find out all the details and get a list for yourself. In the meantime, keep calling on that today's special. We were talking about how you can augment, of course, our best buy of the day with other great things. Of course, the fruit, the protein, the vegetables. The eggs are gone.
The eggs are gone, but these are really popular. And I think what people like about them is that they're very versatile. So we'll start by talking about our fruits. It's a fruit kit. All comes in that great Wise packaging. So it too is shelf stable for up to 25 years. Fruit that you can have. And by the way, it is so fun to munch on. Strawberries, peaches, apples, and bananas. I'm a huge fan of the bananas. They are completely addicting. And they come in your pouches, but also this one comes with vanilla yogurt.
Ooh.
So fun, so good.
I like that.
You know what I've started using these for is I'm trying to wean my kids off of those packaged fruit snacks. Yeah, Sugar 101, they're horrible for you. This is the real deal. This is real fruit. So to have the ability to have produce in an emergency is a big deal, because we know when there's any kind of problems, that's what doesn't get into the stores. But also if you're trying to get your kids off sugary snacks, these are really good. It's natural. It's the real deal.
If you're active, if you're on the go, you've got a long commute. I mean, it's just even
a snack to tide you over.
Exactly. Even when you travel. I mean, and for me, I'm kind of borderline hypoglycemic, where I have to have a little something, like a little, you know, every couple hours or so. So that's fantastic.
Traveling's a great idea.
It is. Now the proteins are almost neck and neck with the fruits. So talk a little bit about the proteins.
So what I like about the proteins is it makes any meal that you have from our 148 serving bucket even bigger, because if you add protein, obviously you can stretch your servings a little bit. That said, these actually can be standalone meals. There's types of chicken and beef, and it comes with rice and also some sauces. So you can make a meal out of just the protein and the rice, and you're good to go. But if you have a larger family, I would definitely think about picking up the protein, because that way you can stretch the size. And you know, one thing we're all looking for when we're in an emergency situation is protein, because that keeps us full.
Absolutely.
So those are the good calories to have.
You know, I would snack on these.
The veggies are very snackable. Yep, you can eat them as they are, or you can, you know, they're in a dehydrated form, or you can reconstitute them with water, and then they kind of turn into like your veggie side dish, and they come with cheese sauce. So I know.
Do they really?
This just tells me a mom was packing this for Wise, because you know what? I would have to produce cheese sauce, even in an emergency, to get my kids to eat vegetables.
Oh, that is so cool.
And all of it, again, packaged in the special Wise atmospheric package that goes ahead and shuts away the humidity and the oxygen and keeps it there for up to 75
years.
Know,
whether you are, you know, hunter, fisher, backpacker, outdoor enthusiast, you know, hike the trails, I mean, whatever it might be, just, you know, the urban, you know, jungles, if you will. If maybe you've got a long commute, maybe you've got a long day, maybe you've got a job where you really can't leave your station, or you can't maybe break when you need to, or you're in an environment like in our control room, you can't have food per se, but this is dry, you know, it's sterile, if you will. So if you needed to have like a little nosh, a little snack.
You tell them they can sneak this in?
I'm sure Elise will love to hear that. It's like, they didn't hear it from me.
Right, Shannon says you can eat this while you work.
But you know, it doesn't stink up the cubicle like tuna fish or something like that.
Good point.
And I like the idea, because I'm always trying to find healthy snacks, and it's really hard.
It is.
Isn't it?
And I think when you look at it from the emergency perspective too, the fresh fruits, vegetables, proteins, those are the parts of the grocery store where the shelves go bare and don't get restocked if there's power, if there's weather, problems like that. So this is the way of ensuring that you'll always have them in your home.
It is. So hopefully you can grab yours. Thank you again for your orders. You are coming back in a couple of minutes.
I will be back at the top of the hour.
Sounds good. Thank you, Stephanie. I can't wait for more samples. All right. So thank you again for your orders on your today's special, everyone. In fact, over a thousand, Steve? Over 1,300 of our finest value of the day gone. The eggs are officially gone, so thank you again for placing your orders there. We actually, in talking about emergency preparedness, since I'm from Minnesota, I know all too well the terror of hearing that when your car's not turning over. Wait till you see what we have for you next. It's actually a 3-in-1.
Here's what we're loving this week. It's our Valentine's Day gift event. Tune in tomorrow to find everything you need to say I love you to your sweetheart on this special day. We have gift options like jewelry to fragrances to delicious chocolates. There's something for every loved one you're thinking about. There's even a treat or two for yourself. The Valentine's gift shop is open now. Just search Valentine's at hsn.com.
At HSN, we're celebrating a better you. Because healthy is more than just eating right. It's finding balance and treating yourself to a life well lived. Find your Zen-spiration. From a healthy mind to a healthy home, it's time to feel good, inside and out. Because we believe healthy is happy. Live well and be happy with the health and wellness experts at HSN. There's so many things to love about HSN, but one thing that makes shopping here fun is FlexPay. Get it home now without the stress of paying all at once. Why pay full purchase price today when you can pay over time? Buy what you want now, pay it off later with your credit or debit card. FlexPay. It's that easy. Exclusively at HSN.
Minnesota, you don't have to be from Minnesota to know what a dead battery sounds like, and more importantly, what it makes you feel like. There's that kind of shock and awe where it's like, okay, great, now what do I do? Do I call, that towing service? Do I call my friend? Do I call a neighbor? Do I rely on the help of strangers? This is actually so much more than something that is going to jumpstart your car without the aid of a friend, without the aid of an outlet, without the aid of a towing company. We've all had that feeling, whether it's in Florida where we run our air conditioners, or a car is sitting in a hot sun and the sun is eating that battery. Or I used to go to work at Minnesota Public Radio at 4 o'clock in the morning, and there's nothing more fun in 60-degree below weather when you hear never, ever, ever have to hear that again. And more importantly, this is a 3-in-1. So if you were just getting the jump start for this kind of purchase price, it'd be awesome. But you can charge your cell phone, you can charge your tablet, you can charge your computer. It is genius. Carly's going to give us all the details. Hello, my friend.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here. So just like Shannon was saying, right? Gone are the days where you have to use something like this. It's probably somewhere in your trunk buried. And if you even know how to use it, you have to rely on the kindness of strangers to try to help you. Well, you do not have to do that in an emergency situation anymore, because with our 12,000 milliamp jump starter, you are going to be able, your loved one is going to be able, your kids, as they're going off to college and learning how to drive, they are going to be able to get themselves on the road very quickly. So what I'm going to do.
Right, so Carly's going to show us, instead of this, the cables, you can do this inside the comfort, the safety, and the warmth of your vehicle.
Yep.
You're gonna be able to jump start this car?
Yes, so I'm gonna show you guys that the battery is completely dead. You don't hear any noise?
Nope.
No noise, right?
Nope.
All right.
Click.
So I'm gonna hop out here, and I'm gonna show you just how simple this is to use, okay? So right here, we have our jump starter with the cables plugged into it, okay?
Gotcha.
So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my black to my black, which is my negative to my negative, Now, one of the things I want to let you guys know is that these are actually double insulated with reverse polarity technology, which means that they're basically foolproof. So if you don't really know how to use jumper cables, you're worried you're going to hurt your battery or something like that, it's going to actually tell you. It's going to tell you if you have it hooked up the wrong way. So I'm going to put my red to my red. Get a nice connection here. Go ahead and turn it on, and these 4 LED lights right here mean that it's juiced up and it is ready to go. I'm gonna hop back in my car, and you're gonna see that this is going to instantaneously.
It's not like, okay, I gotta back the car out, I've gotta call a towing service. All right, and you saw earlier when Carly tried this, it was completely dead. Ah, look at that! Oh, that's great! Okay, that is the sound of happiness.
That is the sound of your loved one getting back on the road and not needing to rely on anyone else. I gotta say, I'm gonna turn this off, guys, and disconnect. I love this particularly as a female because sometimes we might be intimidated in that emergency situation, not really sure what to do.
Oh, for sure. In fact, all we ask you to do is to pick your color of choice, and it's also a flashlight, which I think is dynamic. You know, I was saying a 3-in-1, it's really like a 4-in-1.
And it's, you know, it goes with the theme of preparedness today. You want to have that flashlight in your emergency kit.
I love how compact this is. I've told this story before, but when I went to college, I think one of the most thoughtful and loving gifts my dad ever got me is he got me like an emergency road kit for my car because my parents' farm was almost 3 hours from where I went to college, and I did a lot of those long, treks, especially in Fargo, North Dakota. It gets very cold. It's easy for those batteries to die. Easy for the batteries to die in the hot weather as well. So we're never exempt from having a dead battery. What's really great about this is it puts you literally in the driver's seat.
Exactly.
It's a 12,000 amp jump starter, and remember, it's so much more than just a jump starter. The flashlight. To me, this is almost like your emergency, touring kit, whether you're panicking because your battery is dead or whether you're panicking because the battery on your cell phone is dead.
Which in today's age is actually just as scary as when your car dies.
It is.
We're all always plugged in constantly.
For sure.
And I gotta tell you, I was actually, in town, Gasparillo is a really big thing.
Yes.
Right? And I was out with my girlfriends all day this weekend, right? All day on Saturday, and everyone's phones were dying, and they were panicking. They weren't exactly sure what to do, right? Well, this has dual USB chargers in it, and they're 2.1 amps, which basically means that they are fast charging.
Oh, yeah.
So they're actually going to be able to charge your cell phones, your tablets quickly, and you don't have to, try to run and find some place to charge your phones. So we were plugged in the whole day. We were having a great time. We didn't have to worry about getting anywhere to plug in our phones.
Yeah, well, and see, that's just it. It's those kind of convenience features that really pay for itself. So pick your color of choice. I'm just gonna scoot over this way. It's a little easier for me to see from this angle. Love that orange. These are kind of college colors. Beautiful purple. There's our blue. Are we calling these like a chevron print, Steve? Do we know? We've got, it looks like our florals, looks like kind of a chevron, and then black. There's your gray, there's your red. They look so uber stylish. So black, silver, blue floral, pink floral, and then pink geo, and then blue geo. That's what I was calling the chevron print. So what's really wonderful about this is, to me, it's one-step shopping. Just like you shouldn't turn over your keys to your kids without, of course, car insurance or a license to drive, you shouldn't turn over your keys to your kids without having something like this in your motor vehicle. And it's just such a smart purchase. If the only thing this did was jump start your car, it would pay for itself over and over again. And Carly, I remember those days where everybody's calling that towing service at the same time. Like in Minnesota, when it's 60 degrees below zero, guess what? You're not the only one they have to get to. And then you get the thing, it's like, I think we can be there in the next 2 to 3 hours. In the meantime, you're stranded in, off the side of the road or in some
no heat in your car.
No heat in your car.
You're cold.
Or you're supposed to be at work 2 hours ago.
Exactly.
And you're on their time and their dime. Now there is no waiting. No, there is no wanting. And now there's also no worrying. Those cables, and actually, I'm just going to pick them up for a second if I can. I still, I need to get rid of these things. I moved from Minnesota over 20 years ago. I still have jumper cables in my garage. It's like I'm I don't know why, because I never figured out how to use them even when I lived in Minnesota.
They are intimidating, and again, you need someone else in order to use them.
That freaks me out.
I don't want to talk to people that I don't know necessarily all the time,
And then, God forbid, if they put it on the wrong thing, it sparks, and then you think you're going to blow your engine up. Okay, so Carly's going to show you. Basically, here's the alternative. So you get in the vehicle, and you know it's cold. You want to get to work. You want to get home. You forgot to go out in the middle of the parking lot and start your car in the middle. Okay. Wah, wah, wah.
That's the sound that you don't want to hear. The sound of nothing. The sound of a car not starting, right?
Exactly. Okay, you go from that. And Carly, I think the other thing is too, it's a really easy setup too,
Super easy. I mean, honestly, it's almost in less than a minute, you can get you or your loved one back on the road.
Right.
So again, we're just gonna connect our black to our black, which is our negative to our negative, and your red to your red, which is your positive to your positive. You see again that it's telling you have it hooked up the right way. You don't have to worry about having sparks go anywhere or hurting your battery. We're gonna turn it on. Blue lights mean that we're good to go.
Okay.
I'm gonna hop back in the car.
And again, notice Carly's able to do all of this on her own. You know, she doesn't need any assistance. Like I said, the sound of happiness.
Exactly, that does make me very, very happy. And another cool thing is that you have a hookup that you can use things that you would typically charge in your car.
Sure.
So we have a 12-volt hookup to it. So like, say you pull that spare out, right? And it doesn't have enough air in it.
Yeah.
And well, now you can use this via our DC hookup.
Sure.
And you can even inflate your tire.
Great. Blow up a beach ball,
Exactly.
you know, blow up a football, whatever it might be.
Or take it camping with you. You can blow up air mattress, anything like that.
Why not? And remember, it's so small and portable and compact. Oh, you know what? It's actually lighter than I thought it would be.
It's light. I have small hands.
Yeah.
This is basically like the size of my hand. I mean, today, this is almost the size of your cell phone.
Yeah, actually, it really is. And it's not, even if you just travel with it, I know that sounds kind of crazy, but if you're in that restaurant, maybe you're making business calls all day. A lot of our team just got back from the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, and these things are like gold around something like that, because people are using their cell phones and their tablets and their connected devices all day long, and Lord forbid if something runs out of juice, I mean, that could be a lost deal at stake. You know, or it could be just something as simple as I want to be able to get home and tuck the kids into bed, and if your car's not starting, you want to talk about a major bummer. Now, I have to say, and I asked Carly about this earlier, this is so small, it's almost deceiving in terms of how powerful it really is, right?
Absolutely, it is definitely deceiving. So what we took is that big clunky battery that you would typically have in a car, right? And we're gonna see just how strong that battery is, right?
Right.
So it's reading out about 12.21 right now. I'm gonna take the same things, go over here and test the strength of our jump starter.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
It's actually stronger than that giant car battery right now.
Crazy.
Guys, this is like having a battery in the palm of your hand. You're going to be able to charge your cell phones and your tablets and devices multiple times over, and you're gonna have the added bonus, the key feature of being able to jump your car and having other big key things like a flashlight built into it. We're used to these sorts of things, right?
They're clunky.
You know, not that bright. Well, you have this wonderful LED light in here.
That's sharp.
And it even has an SOS on it if you want to.
If you're changing a tire or something.
Exactly.
I mean, kind of alerts people.
In the dark when you're alone and you need something to illuminate, right? This is something that you want to keep in your emergency kit at all times.
You know, it's really kind of that peace of mind. And of course, it dovetails beautifully with our preparedness event, highlighted, of course, by our today's special that's coming up in Encore in just a few moments. If you are the least bit tempted, whether you've got a young person on the road, maybe you're on a road for the living. Maybe you're a long distance, truck driver. Maybe you haul, construction materials. Maybe you're a real estate agent. Maybe you just are a busy mom or dad. It seems like our cars become our mobile offices. Last thing you want to be doing is stuck in that car line with the parents behind you honking the horn because all of a sudden that car battery went dead. I really would love for you to make that investment. Just like we have car insurance, just like we have health insurance, this is peace of mind insurance. If the only thing that you use this was to jump start your car, and we'll have time to show you that demonstration one more time, it would pay for itself. But then think of it as a mobile power station. So your cell phone, your tablet, your computer, it's a flashlight, and it's really kind of a power hub. Plus it has that car volt adapter, so if you have like a little mini compressor for beach balls or tires or what have you. So Carly, again, here's that dead battery. Click.
We hear nothing.
Click.
And again,
Click.
in a very short period of time, you're going to be able to get yourself back on the road.
Yep. And again, it's so funny because they were to have me start it, and I'm like, well, first of all, you don't want me touching your car, period. You want to talk about blowing something up? But, you know, Carly is doing this on her own. I mean, this is what you would be doing. If you were on your own, you can see she doesn't have to flag down help. She doesn't have to, you know, worry about, okay,
and this
where
is
do I
how
hook
simple
this?
it is.
Yeah,
You can do this by yourself. It's an empowering thing. It's peace of mind.
For sure.
Is what it is.
It absolutely is. Okay, from a completely dead battery. Ta-da! Okay, that's 3 times on the same unit. So, and this is not one of those little, what I call those little compact micro cars.
Yes,
you know
it is.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'll start a real car. You know, it's not just going to start a moped.
It's got 400 peak cranking amps, which basically means that it's going to be able to jump any of your standard 3-liter size engine.
That's, you know, I don't think I've ever owned anything more than a 3-liter. I'd be a danger to myself and others if I did.
Me too,
yeah,
trust me.
Exactly. So just pick your color of choice, and remember, it's the triple thread. It's the 3-in-1. It's exclusive to us here at HSN. Carly, when are you back today? Do you know? A bit later?
No, I am possibly not back. I think we're back a couple hours later. We're going to do one more show.
Sounds good. All right, well, we'll look forward to seeing you then. Great job. We appreciate it. Hey, don't forget, this is an HSN exclusive. I'm going back indoors. I'm hungry for more wise foods in our today's special. Encore Look is coming up in a moment, so don't go anywhere.